Today we're going to talk about domain and range, and what we need to understand is that domain and range is something that we all do all the time. So domain, okay, this refers to all possible inputs. Which is typically the x values. Range is all possible outputs, or the y's, okay? And this is something that we do all the time. So whenever we think about all the possibilities of something, that is domain and range. So for instance, over the weekend I had $25 and I was going to throw a party. And with my $25 I could buy, chips, drinks, hamburgers, hot dogs, all that kind of stuff. So that is domain and range. I have $25, that's my input. I'm putting in $25 into the party. What I get out are the chips, the pop, the hot dogs. That is domain and range. The same thing goes, I was shopping for a car this weekend and my budget, let's say, was $20,000. Okay, that would be my input, and my output would be the types of cars that I could buy. So like I could buy some GMCs, some Fords that are used. I couldn't buy any new things for Lexus or anything because that's just out of the price range. It's not part of the domain, or part of the range rather. So whenever we think about all possibilities of things in real life, you could actually write a mathematical equation or model with domain and range. So domain and range is a huge concept that everyone uses every day without even knowing it. Just the idea of thinking, what are all my possibilities in any situation, is actually a mathematical principle known as domain and range. And so we're going to do it here on these graphs. What are all the possibilities? And so we have to know how to write it. We write it like this, where sometimes we're going to use parentheses, and then we're going to do the left x value, left x, and then the right x, the right side x. And sometimes we use brackets, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. And then sometimes we use parentheses, and we're going to use the bottom or the down, I'm going to use the word down, y, or the farthest down y. And then we're going to use the tallest or the up y, or the tallest or the y point that's on the upside. So I'll show you that here in a minute. We use brackets. A parenthesis means that we cannot have that number, which is usually an open circle. A bracket means we can have that number. And so it's going to be a solid circle or anywhere on the line that we pick. Okay, so that's domain and range. We're going to skip number 1 because I have the notes there. So we're going to use this on number 2. So I'm going to find the most left point. So here's my graph. I'm going to just highlight this graph. Here it is, right there. Okay, and the most left point is right here. That is the most left spot on the graph. And the x value, because we get in the left x, is -5. Excuse that. So this point right here that I found, that spot on the graph, is -5, -3. And this -5 is the leftmost x value. And it's on a closed circle, so it's going to be a bracket. Then we're going to follow the graph, and the rightmost spot on the graph is about right there. That is 3, 0.5. So then we would write 3, because these are x values. This is an x and an x, and it's a bracket. And then we're going to go down. So we're going on the graph down. This spot right here that we used earlier is also the spot down on the graph. Then we're going to follow the graph to the top. The highest point would be right there. And again, we could write this out as 1, 3, but we're just looking for the y value, because down here we're going to have 2 y's, so it's 3. So that is our domain and range. They're all brackets because we used the spots on the line and a spot that is a closed circle. If I was to use this spot, it would be a parenthesis. Let's see if we have a parenthesis one. So I'm going to jump down to number 6. That'll be done. So number 6 has these. So we're going to look at the left side. So we're going to go left, we're going to go right, and we're going to go up and down. So let's do the left and right first. So left side here, so here's my graph. I'm going to go left. The farthest to the left is -4, and this is going to be parenthesis because it's an open circle. So whenever there's an open circle that we're going to use, it's a parenthesis. Then we're going to go all the way to the right. This is as far right as I could go. It's a 1, and it's going to be a parenthesis because it's an open circle. And then I'm going to go down and then up here. Oops, don't put any that mark I don't need. So I'm going to go all the way down. The farthest spot down on the graph is here. The y value, again these are y values on the second part, is 0. And that's going to be a bracket because we're on the line there. Then we're going to find this farthest spot up. Notice when I go up I have 2 ways to go. This way is higher, so I'm going to use that one, which is my y value here is a 5. And this is going to be a parenthesis. And that's my domain and range. So all I'm doing is I'm making a list of numbers of x and y that show me the left side of the x, the right side of the x. So if this was an equation, I would never pick -5 for x. Why? Because it's not part of my domain. Same with y. I would never pick -2. It's not part of my domain. This is a list of what we would pick. Just like if we're shopping for cars, like I mentioned earlier, I wouldn't buy a King Ranch with $20,000. It's out of what I could do, so I don't even think about it. Same thing with numbers. If you have any questions, let me know. There will be an Answer King class. Have a good day.